हेलो एवरीवन, दिस इज हिमांशु बैक विथ अनदर वीडियो। और आज की वीडियो होने वाली एक इंटरव्यू जो मैंने कंडक्ट करा है मिस्टर श्रीपाल जैन के साथ। ही इज़ अ CA एंड CPA USA एंड ऑल्सो अ को फाउंडर ऑफ सिमांदर एजुकेशन। एवरीवन नोज श्रीपाल सर बेसिकली। ही इज़ वेरी एक्टिव ऑन लिंक्डइन, ही इज़ एक्टिव एवरीवेयर, नॉट जस्ट ऑन लिंक्डइन, राइट। एंड सबसे अच्छी बात है वो रेगुलर टच में रहते हैं स्टूडेंट्स के। कोई भी क्वेरी होती है, इवन इफ़ यू मैसेज हिम ही विल श्योरली रिप्लाई यू। थोड़ा सा आगे पीछे हो सकता है, बट डेफिनेटली मैंने पर्सनली एक्सपीरियंस करा है। ही इज़ वेरी काइंड, वेरी हम्बल पर्सन एंड बहुत नॉलेज है उन्हें फाइनेंस की फील्ड पे, बहुत क्या पूरी नॉलेज है। आप उनसे CP के बारे में पूछ लीजिए, CMA के बारे में पूछ लीजिए और वेरियस कोर्सेज़ के बारे में पूछ लीजिए, डेटा साइंस के बारे में पूछ लीजिए। उनके पास हर तरह की नॉलेज है, राइट। तो वही इंटरव्यू में आज उन्होंने नॉलेज शेयर करी है CMA सर्टिफिकेशन के ऊपर, CP के ऊपर और वेरियस अदर टॉपिक्स के ऊपर कि जॉब अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ क्या रहने वाली है मार्केट में, बेसिकली CMA की क्या रेपुटेशन है, रिकॉग्निशन क्या है, कितना टाइम लगता है, फीस क्या लगती है, करिकुलम कौन सा यूज़ करना चाहिए। उन्होंने पूरी नॉलेज शेयर करी है, अपना रियल एक्सपीरियंस शेयर करा है। एज वी नो ही इज़ अ फाउंडर ऑफ सिमांदर एजुकेशन। उनके पास सालों का एक्सपीरियंस है टीचिंग का और स्टूडेंट्स इंटरेक्शन का, स्टूडेंट एक्सपीरियंस उनके पास है। बेसिकली अलग अलग कोर्सेज़ का एक्सपीरियंस उनके पास है। तो ये वीडियो देखना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाता है, इंटरव्यू देखना पूरा, ये चैट देखना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाता है। तो प्लीज़ इंटरव्यू को पूरा देखिएगा, बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होने वाला है, मिस मत करिएगा। बहुत सारी इंपॉर्टेंट इन्फॉर्मेशन है इस इंटरव्यू के अंदर जो बेसिकली आपको कहीं पे नहीं मिलेगी। आपको रियल एक्सपीरियंस मिल रहा है, एक्सपीरियंस लोगों का वो आर इनटू द फील्ड फ्रॉम नंबर ऑफ ईयर्स। तो इसको यूज़ करिए, स्ट्रैटेजी बनाइए, आगे बढ़िए, अपने लिए चूज़ करिए कि आपके लिए कौन सा कोर्स बेटर है, क्यों करना चाहिए। आपको सभी चीज़ों का आंसर ज़रूर मिलेगा इन इंटरव्यूज़ के अंदर। मैं रेगुलरली वीडियो लेकर आ रहा हूँ पिछले 3 से 4 हफ्ते से। इंटरव्यूज़ भी आ रहे हैं। लास्ट इंटरव्यू मिस्टर गौरव अलाक का था। ही शेयर्ड हिज एक्सपीरियंस विद CMA सर्टिफिकेशन। बहुत सारे लोगों का फीडबैक आया, बहुत अच्छा फीडबैक आया कि उनको काफ़ी ज़्यादा नॉलेज जानने को मिली। और लास्ट की मेरी वीडियोस है CMA इंट्रोडक्शन के ऊपर, कोर्स करिकुलम के ऊपर, माय रियल एक्सपीरियंस ऑन जॉब एंड बेसिकली मेरा क्या एक्सपीरियंस है पूरे CMA को कंप्लीट करने में पूरा। ये 3 से 4 वीडियोस रही हैं। आपको सभी वीडियो का लिंक डिस्क्रिप्शन बॉक्स में मिल जाएगा और ऊपर आई बटन में मिल जाएगा, जाके चेकआउट कर सकते हैं इन लास्ट इंटरव्यू और माई अदर वीडियोज़ ऑन CMA सर्टिफिकेशन। एंड एज आई सेड, ये पूरा इंटरव्यू बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होने वाला, लास्ट तक ज़रूर देखना। बिकॉज आई रियली डोंट वांट कि आप सेम जो चीज़ें डिस्कस हो चुकी हैं इस इंटरव्यू के अंदर वो आप कमेंट बॉक्स में सेम क्वेश्चन रिपीट कर रहे हैं। इंटरव्यू पूरा देखिए, सब कुछ क्लियर हो जाएगा, डेफिनेटली क्लियर होगा। नहीं होता तो कमेंट बॉक्स को यूज़ करिए। और अगर आपको कोई सजेशन है कि यू वांट मी कि मैं इस कोर्स पे वीडियो बनाऊँ या कोई आपका कोई डाउट्स हैं उस पर वीडियो बनाऊँ या आपकी कोई क्वेरी है, तो मैं डेफिनेटली उन टॉपिक्स पे भी वीडियो बनाऊँगा। आप सजेस्ट कर सकते हैं टॉपिक कमेंट बॉक्स के अंदर। और उसके साथ साथ एक मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट इन्फॉर्मेशन कि एक टेलीग्राम ग्रुप है, एक टेलीग्राम चैनल है, उसका लिंक आपको डिस्क्रिप्शन में मिल जाएगा। बहुत सारे प्रोफेशनल्स ऑलरेडी ज्वाइन कर चुके हैं पिछले 3 से 4 वीडियोज़ में। मैं लगातार कह रहा हूँ कि प्लीज़ ज्वाइन करिए, बिकॉज आई एम ट्राइंग टू बिल्ड अ फाइनेंस कम्युनिटी जहाँ पे फ्री फ्लो हो इन्फॉर्मेशन का। अगर कोई कॉलेज स्टूडेंट है वो एक्सपीरियंस से पूछ पाए, उनका एक्सपीरियंस कि आपका इस सर्टिफिकेशन रिलेटेड क्या एक्सपीरियंस रहा है, जॉब मार्केट से रिलेटेड क्या एक्सपीरियंस रहा है। अगर आप रेफरल चाहते हैं फॉर अ जॉब, आप वो भी पूछ सकते हैं उस ग्रुप के अंदर। आप कोई कोर्स रिलेटेड इन्फॉर्मेशन चाहते हैं, मटेरियल चाहते हैं या कोई भी चीज़ आपका डाउट है वो भी पूछ सकते हैं। इट्स अ बेसिकली अ ग्रुप जहाँ पे मैंने बनाया। दे आर एक्चुअली 2 लिंक, ग्रुप प्लस चैनल, तो दोनों को सब्सक्राइब करिएगा, दोनों को ज्वाइन करिएगा। चैनल के थ्रू मैं डेली बेसिस पे उडीमी के फ्री कोर्सेज प्लस कूपन कोड शेयर करता रहता हूँ ताकि आपको स्किल बेस्ड कोर्सेज फ्री में करने को मिले। ताकि जैसे एक्सेल हो गया, SQL हो गया, ऐसे बहुत सारे कोर्सेज हो गए। और उसके साथ साथ बहुत सारे आर्टिकल्स और डेली बेसिस पे बुक्स हो गई जो मेरे को पसंद है, मैंने पढ़ रखी हैं। बहुत सारे आर्टिकल्स जो मैं पढ़ता हूँ डेली बेसिस वो भी शेयर करता हूँ। एंड इफ़ यू वांट कि आप भी इन सब चीज़ों को यूज़ कर पाए अपनी नॉलेज के लिए, नॉलेज एनहांसमेंट के लिए, तो उस ग्रुप को और चैनल को ज़रूर ज्वाइन करिएगा। और बहुत सारे प्रोफेशनल्स है एज आई सेड, तो आप डायरेक्टली कनेक्ट कर सकते हैं किसी भी कोर्स को लेके, FRM, CFA, CPA, ACCA, CIMA, XYZ, कोई भी कोर्स आपके माइंड में है, किसी कोर्स को लेके डाउट, तो वही पूछ सकते हैं। मतलब एज आई सेड, मैं बहुत सारे बेनिफिट्स बता चुका हूँ ऑलरेडी, बट आई एम जस्ट ट्राइंग टू बिल्ड अ फाइनेंस कम्युनिटी। एक छोटा सा एफर्ट है। मोर देन 150 लोगों ने ऑलरेडी ज्वाइन कर लिया पिछले 3 से 4 वीडियोज़ के अंदर। सो हम ट्राइंग कि ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा लोग ज्वाइन करें ताकि आप सब एक दूसरे की हेल्प कर पाएँ। फ्री फ्लो ऑफ इन्फॉर्मेशन का कोई बीच में मीडिएटर ना हो, दैट समबडी इज़ चार्जिंग फॉर यू, यू नो, फॉर गिविंग यू समथिंग, फॉर प्रोवाइडिंग यू समथिंग। तो वो इस तरीके के ग्रुप होने वाले, तो प्लीज़ ज्वाइन जरूर करिएगा। दोनों के लिंक आपको डिस्क्रिप्शन में मिल जाएंगे, चैनल के प्लस ग्रुप के, तो ज्वाइन ज़रूर करिएगा। इसके साथ साथ इस यूट्यूब चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करना मत भूलिएगा, बेल आइकन को प्रेस करना मत भूलिएगा, ताकि कोई भी वीडियो मैं अपलोड करूं उसकी इन्फॉर्मेशन आप तक सबसे पहले पहुंचे और आप अपडेटेड रहें कि कौन से इंटरव्यूज़ आने वाले हैं, कौन से कोर्सेज पे। तो चलिए शुरू करते हैं आज के इंटरव्यू को। बहुत सारी नॉलेज मिलने वाली है, स्किप मत करिएगा, पूरा देखिएगा ताकि आपके सारे डाउट्स क्लियर हो पाए, राइट। तो चलिए शुरू करते हैं आज के इंटरव्यू को।
So yes, finally we have you onboarded on our YouTube channel, and let's start with the first brief introduction of yourself, because although everyone knows, but still we wanted you to give a brief introduction of yourself. Yeah.
First of all, thank you, Himanshu. And guys, Himanshu is, thank you so much, Himanshu, for giving me the opportunity to speak on your channel. So this is Shripal Jain, guys. So I am a qualified chartered accountant, proud and licensed US CPA, right? And from AICPA. So I head the Samandar Education. I'm one of the co-founders and the visiting faculties at various IIMs, Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, and at various corporates like Amazon, Deloitte, EY, KPMG, PwC. So these are some of the corporates which I do several sessions on the various technical topics. Have done some lot of research papers and for the institute as well, and was one of the speaker also at Institute of Chartered Accountants of India Hyderabad branch for blockchain. And these are some of the things which I have done in my journey. Yes, Sanjay.
Sure, that's an amazing brief introduction. I really wanted to understand. See, my videos from last couple of weeks has always been concentrated on the CMA USA. First, I will start with the CMA USA, then I will move forward with the the ladder of with the CPA USA. So, firstly, I really wanted to understand from you, what's your experience in terms of teaching CMA USA, and what's your view on potential and skills that the student acquire after completing the CMA certification, whether they are, what kind of what is the different between when they join the program and when they end up the program, and how it helps, in terms of employability into the finance sector.
So what basically happens is, right, so like in India, we have the cost management accountants. The US cost management accountants are known as CMAs, right, which is nothing but US costing. So when they join before CMA, they are just a BCom, so they lack the standard costing knowledge, they lack the budgeting, financial planning, decision making, and all those stuff. But once they become the US CMA, they are better professionals in managing the balance sheet of the organization, the PNL of the organization. They are able to take strategic decisions. And now technology is also added into the curriculum of the US CMA. So previously, technology was not there. Now technology is also added. So almost, if you see that in part one, there's a good amount of percentage from section F, which is technology and analytics. So we are seeing a lot of those questions on data ethics, artificial intelligence, RPA. So management accounting is something which is very much relevant. See, you can automate accounting, right? But you can't automate the decision making.
Yeah.
So US CMA is more of a decision making profile. So once they become the CMA, the skill set is basically more on decision making, how they take those decisions. Should they go with NPV, IRR analysis and all those things, the capital budgeting, the ratio analysis, why the revenue have gone up or gone down, or why the expenses have increased substantially quarter on quarter. So that's a more of an analytical profile than I would say more of recording the journal entries and all. So CMAs are more strategic in nature, and anyone enjoys strategic profile more than the pure accounting profile, right? So
Yeah.
that's where I think CMAs have an added advantage, I would say.
Got it. And yeah,
When I'm
actually,
teaching,
yeah.
right, for USCMA, Himanshu, so basically the experience have been more with financial accounting reporting, which is external financial reporting of CMA part one. And when we do the corporate finance and internal controls, the portion is much relevant and the content is much appealable, is what I would say for the students.
Even for me, when I started my career, I really don't wanted to go into the general accounting part of the finance world or accounting world. I really wanted to go into the a kind of decision making or deal execution or due diligence kind of work, where my inputs are going to help some way in terms of finalizing either private equity deals or LP limited partners. So and it really helped me in terms of even clearing the interviews and other aspects as well. So next question, not just me, and I think this I already have got the answer of this, but a lot of people wanted to understand, does it really helps in terms of getting a job, and how Simandar education helps students in terms of getting the job when they pursue different certification. I'm not talking just about CMA USA, CPA, or enroll agent for different certification.
No, I think US CMA have good job opportunities in the market. Last 2 years back, the demand was not much. Now, with the Great Recession and many people leaving, the demand for US CMA have gone up significantly. I mean, every second person is placed with Simandar, but I do not want to use your channel to market my institution or
Mm-hmm.
for that matter, because I just want to be neutral and unbiased
Yeah,
here. Because this video is more for career enhancement for our
career
students.
enhancement, true.
I just don't want to talk anything about Simandar. I just want to talk about the qualification more. So, I mean, Simandar, I think students are the best judge, or Himanshu, you yourself, that you can see what we do and
Yes,
all. I think that because, see, being at Simandar, I will anyways talk good about Simandar, right? So, I'll tell Simandar I've done this, that, and all. But does it add value to the students? No, because that is something which they need to check around, right?
yes,
So, we have done a great job in placing a lot of our students with various companies and all. But having said that, the question is more about, sir, is there a job opportunity after USCMA? That
true.
definitely the answer is yes. But sir, can I go with every institute and enroll and pass CMA and get a job? The answer is definitely no, because the problem is many institutes are not so aligned with the corporates. What happens with Samandar or any of our organization is, because we work with the corporates more, so we have the opportunities to place the students faster. But what happens with other institution is, this is not like a chartered accountancy course, Himanshu, where every
Mm-hmm.
second company will keep hiring you. So you need a very strong reference, a very strong institution and all. And I think that's the point you were asking about Samandar, how they are
Yeah,
helping and placing. I think that was the intention of the question. So I would say that definitely if you're going with the right institution, I think the opportunities of getting a job is much higher than you doing a standalone and then applying it. So sometimes it takes a lot of time to get that. I'm not telling that they can't get the job, but the chances are very, very less, and it's little cumbersome for a student to do for that. For that matter, the Indian market, if we see that, there are a lot of companies which are hiring USCMS. So
mm-hmm.
we recently signed up with Wipro, Infosys, right, Cognizant, Electronic Arts, Big Fours anyways. But Big Fours, one thing you will need to know, Himanshu, that they do not hire in audit or in tax, right?
Yeah,
Of late, we have been hiring in US tax because of our reference and all. But normally, CMAs go into the financial planning analysis profile of Big Four. So their
yeah,
internal FP&A and all. So these are the hotcakes, or the shared service locations like the Diageo or the PepsiCo and all. So there they have a lot of these job opportunities for US CMAs. Major recruiters, I would say, is Accenture, Wipro, and PepsiCo. These are the big recruiters for US CMA. In fact, Himanshu, Wipro, I think you might be aware because you're also
yeah.
going there, right? Blackstone. So these are companies
Blackstone.
which hire CMAs more and all, and you will be seeing many companies will hire CMAs more now, because as they are going into the cost reductions and all because of the inflation, right? The inflation have gone up significantly in every country. So they need a good, strong costing person now. I think cost management accountants are the order of the day for various companies. But if you ask me honest question for Indian companies, I have not seen them hiring US CMAs at all. I do not want to misguide anyone on this. I've never seen an Indian company hiring a US CMA even.
Yeah, even in my case, if I tell by myself, it's true that this platform is not is to use curse some institute and promote some institute, because my experience has been really bad. I don't want to name the institute. I think still till now they are not helping students with getting a job, but by myself, I have seen number of posts on the LinkedIn where people are writing about Samantha. They are getting job, they are getting placed in Accenture, they are getting placed in either ENY or different companies, and that's really amazing to see. There is some institute would actually really helps in terms of getting a job. I would be lucky if I would be having such institute at that time, where it was back in 2016, and I was looking for, but the platform was not available that time, but it's still now available. And the next question is, which is also I'm curious about to ask, is that international career is possible after doing CMA USA, or it is to add CPA USA as well, or pursue that as well after completing?
What I've seen, Himanshu, is the people who are doing USCMA, they are getting the IMA of Australia. So
Yeah,
the USCMA of Australia, I've seen that there's a reverse MOU signed between both the institutes. So I think after the USCMA, Australia is a very good market for CMAs. I've seen some of them going to Australia and settling there after doing the USCMA. And then US anyways is a good hub, but the problem with US is you need to have a study visa
yeah,
or a relevant visa to go there. And you see a lot of the institutes in the market these days, CPA करो US चले जाओ. प्लीज अंडरस्टैंड ऐसा रहता तो सब पूरी इंडिया सीपीए कर लेती और यूएस चले जाते सो क्वालिफिकेशन कैन नॉट help you move to other country. That is very important because qualification cannot help in mobility. For mobility you
got it.
need visa, you need experience, you need to write IELTS exam, entrance exam and all
Yeah,
those things. So a US CMA or CPA or CFA for that matter or ACCA also do not have the ability to shift you from India to US. But if you are in US, can I get an opportunity? The answer is yes. But if
okay.
you're sitting in India and then applying for US in job, the answer is a clear no.
Got it, got it. Because I have seen number of people, getting diverted to CMA USA just because I don't know from where they heard about all this, that they will get the international opportunity as well after doing CMA USA. And it's also the lot of institute right in their, that website, that international career is also, but that's not actually true, because I have not seen in my career a number of people I'm attached to
Correct.
almost
So what
100 people.
happens, Himanshu, is right. So once they
Yeah,
go to US, they might get a job.
they might get a
But
job. True.
to go to US, you should do another master's degree and all. I hope you're getting it. So that's
Yes.
a misguidance if we tell them, see, I can also promote on LinkedIn. I can tell, hey, yeah, USCMA CPS, I can place you in US. So I placed a few of my students who were in US. I placed them at 70, 80 lakhs packages, but they were in US. I
Got it.
mean, not from India. I can't place anyone to US, right? They need a visa there. How
True.
will they travel? So company should sponsor. So that's a completely different route. And the chances are like I would say 40 to 35 to 40%. That's all, 30 to 40%. And that
Got
also
it.
after you go to US. From India, I think the chances are 5 to 10%.
Got it. And after doing CMA, you say job opportunities India number. I have seen number of job description nowadays. Like I have analyzed by myself in my last YouTube video, which talks about getting placement into the KPMG, Deloitte, ENY, and a lot of L&T and number of other institutes. And even IMA is helping students as well in terms of getting job placements as well now. It was not previously there. Now we get regular emails from the IMA as well on our email inbox that you can apply for such internships as well as job opportunities in those companies, and that's amazing step by the IMA as well. And another question is like, I think this is one of the question which has been asked by a number of students to me, which is how CMA USA and CPA USA is somehow better than CA and CMA India. So that's the question. Because they are diverted toward more into the CMA and CPA USA, but they wanted to understand how it's better, or pros and cons of both the sides.
I cannot compare a chartered accountancy of India with a US chartered accountancy or a cost accountancy of India to US cost accountancy because they are all having different pieces, right? You cannot take their market, they cannot take our market. So that is how I would say outsourcing market belongs to CMA and CPA, does not belongs to chartered accountants. Chartered accountant market is separate, their market is separate. They do their work, we do our work, right? So if a person is passionate to make a career in offshoring, in the outsourcing market and all, then USCMA and CPA is good. They want to make a career in Indian company, then a chartered accountancy is good. So I cannot say that CA is bad. In fact, I myself a chartered accountant, right? So talking anything negative about professional qualification, I think doesn't make any sense. It's just that I would say only one or two things which are convenient. I would say not that the qualification is better, but in convenient way, CPA and CMA takes a lesser period of time, right? When you compare it with Indian
That's the point. Yeah.
qualification, they take more than 4 years, 5 years, and I don't know. People have patience to study for 4, 4, 5 years. and that have become more outdated and all. So in that way, I would say CMA or CPA takes a lesser period of time,
Got
right?
it.
And content is also lesser because there are only 2 subjects in CMA and 4 subjects in CPA. Whereas Indian accounting, there are a lot of subjects. So in that way, I think the voluminous content and all, the CMA and CPA are more specialized, I would say. That's all.
Got it. And another question, which is also from the viewers and the messages I get from LinkedIn, and that's the which profile they people should target when they complete CMA USA. If they are not involved with any institute, they're just studying by yourself. They completed the education by themselves, CMA certification. Now they want to target, but they are misguided or they are not having the right idea for which profile or job description or organization they should target.
So I think majorly what you should do after you pass USCMA, you should look for FP&A profiles, financial planning and analysis. These are the profiles, costing profiles, and then you have valuation analyst and all. So valuation, mergers, acquisitions. These are the profiles which you can go into after becoming USCMA. If you look for audit, you might not be relevant, right? So they might not take you for. But internal audit, risk advisory, these are the good functions or the profiles which they can apply for, right? There are a lot of jobs in FP&A, risk advisory services and all, but they cannot apply in statutory audit because it requires the external audit knowledge. And US tax, again, is not their cup of tea. So these are some of the profiles which they can go in after passing BSc.
Got it. And another question from the viewers and WhatsApp group is, if somebody wants to study for the CMA USA, what's the best course provider they should refer? Because there are a number of course provider, Wiley or another one is Hawk and Claim. Which course provider they should refer? And there's another question which is, how Simando Education helps student in terms of classes, support, and achieving the CMA title? What's the different basically? Because there is a one question in the WhatsApp group I got. Yeah.
Right. So again, I mean, not a platform to promote myself or
Yeah,
something like
but
this
that's a
here.
real question I got. Yeah.
Right. So now we are tied up with the approved partner of IMA. So we are also the approved partners of IMA. So normally what happens, Himanshu, is if they go via Samandar, they get that exam discount, right? 30% discount they get on exam fees. So normally that is not available for
Okay.
a person who does it on their own. So that is one of the biggest advantage they get once they join with
Yeah.
our institute. They get the exam discounts which are there for them. So 30% is the exam discount, and scholarships also Samandar provides, whereby IMA doesn't charge them a single penny if they are in a full-time college. So that facility we do give at Samandar in terms of registration and all. And in terms of coaching, support and all, see, I've seen some institutes finishing USCMA in 20 days or 25 days. Technically, I can't teach like that. Normally, we teach for USCMA for 7 to 8 months. Our classes are, number of hours are more. We go in deep dive. We explain what is journal, what is ledger, what is debit, what is credit. So we go very basic. So sometimes people might not like it. They are like, बहुत बड़े लोग हैं तो हम लोग बड़े लोगों को पढ़ाते नहीं है, right? So हम
Got
लोग
it.
वही पढ़ाते हैं, and we teach from the scratch. We believe that teaching has to be from the basics and has to be from the foundational, because the concepts are built when you are teaching from the scratch, not that assuming everyone. Because see, Himanshu, here a lot of people are from non-accounting background. So if we teach as if everyone is a chartered accountant, I mean, our teaching will be questionable. So in our teaching methodology, we teach as if every person is a non-accounting person for me. Then only I can do justice in explaining them the costing, the accounting, and the managerial subjects. So that is why the secret of Samandar is like many of the students pass, because our teaching methodology is from the scratch. Though people know more about Samandar corporates and all, because that have overshadowed our teaching, right? Because of our connections, our networking is visible more than our teaching. But to be honest, our teachers are fantastic. If you open the Becker's book, the first page, in the international authors, my name and Suraj's name is appearing in the first page in the international authors all over the world. The Becker book is distributed. We are the contributing editors and the authors for the book. So we were also the paper evaluator for Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. So when we correct the CA papers at national level, so we know what exactly the student is thinking. And that's how our teaching is also being made up of, right? Because
Got
we know
it.
exactly what he wants. So that's why the teaching methodology is completely different at Samandar. We have Geetanjali. So we have a lot of faculties who teach here, right? We have Karan, Suraj and all. These are all good faculties from IIMs, from some of them are triple qualified, CA, CS, ICAA, like Amit is there. Then we have Gitanjali, who is a chartered accountant or CPA and all. Suraj himself is a national level first ranker in chartered accountancy at all levels. So AIR 1 in CA, foundation, inter, final. So having that much great faculties and telling them to just teach like 5-10 hours of books, it will not do it, right? So we teach practically, we go in depth. Some of that might not be relevant for the exam, but very much relevant for them to crack the interviews. That's why you might see that many of the students from our thing, they normally get the placement faster because the interviews and all, or the command over the subject is more higher because of our teaching abilities. What our teachers have done a wonderful job in helping them achieve the CMA title.
Got it. Got it. And basically, that's the answer they always wanted, and that's the answer people always look for. But it's great that you are on the platform today to answer all such questions. And another question is, including myself, I'm curious about this question. What certifications people the students should pursue after doing once they, for example, once they have completed CMA USA, but still there are a lot of people curious about doing more certification like CPA, CIMA.
Any day
Yeah.
US CPA, after US CMA, the best qualification I would say is
Yes,
US CPA.
USCP.
Right,
Okay.
because I think that's the best in the market. There are huge job opportunities for CPA. I mean, if you're joining CPA with some other education,
Yeah,
you tell me which profile you want, which company you want. I mean, I can place you in any company, any profile. That is my guarantee, right?
I got it.
So not guaranteeing like other institution and all those are not to enroll you. But
Yeah,
even if you're enrolled in other institution also, I don't care. And if you want to tell Sripal sir, can you refer? And we have done that in past, right? There are students who were
I
not
have
from some
seen.
other
Yeah, I have seen the post by myself in the LinkedIn. Yeah,
yeah, so it's not like we are here to kind of sell something. We are here to create a community. A good community builds when the intentions are good. Unfortunately, what happens, there are a lot of US CMAs who reach out to me on LinkedIn and they want me to place them. The problem with US CMA is it's a limited market. So my preference and my priority is first. And that's the reason I do not place other students or other institution students so easily for US CMA. But for CPA, I
got it.
have done that. The market is huge. So I like helping others. But when market is limited, obviously, Himanshu, you can understand that my responsibility towards my students is more, right? पहले मैं खुद का मास्क लगाऊंगा फिर दूसरों का लगाऊंगा,
I
right?
got
So
it.
that is
Yeah,
how it is. So if my student is unplaced, I cannot buy that fact. So in USCMA, when our placements are done, then I look for if the bandwidth permits, we normally place the other students also, but not frequently. I do not want to lie about. Okay.
got it. And what's the that's my own question actually. What's the cost of doing CPA USA? In terms of
I think it's
enrolling to it.
8.5 lakhs. So that's why what I do is once they pass USCMA, they get a job and then they can do CPA because then they have the funding, right? Because CPA for course is very costly. If you see USCMA, the cost is not more than 1.25 to 1.4 lakhs, right? But for CPA, the cost overall, including the training, the exam fees, and all those things, it goes to 3.5 lakhs per annum. So the not per annum means it's a one-time cost,
One
obviously.
time
So
cost. Yeah.
in case if they fail the exam, they need to write the exam again with the exam fees of 50,000 per paper. So CPA is little costlier, I would say, which is, I think that's the disadvantage of the US CPA course. Rest everything is advantages in CPA.
That's the one advantage I think which is added now. You can appear for the exam into the India as well. Previously, it was not there. And that's the main advantage I think people are finding in India these days. And another question is like, is that manageable along with full-time job doing CPA USA, or is
100%. You can see, right, Himanshu might be following us. There are a lot of work, full-time working professionals who have passed from Samandar, the CPA exam. The logic, I'll tell you why they are able to do that, because there are only 4 papers. अगर मैं एक chartered accountancy करूँ, Himanshu, so I might have to quit my job and study because there are 20 books.
yeah?
Here you have only 4 books, so you can comfortably do along with your job. I don't think so that should be a problem.
Got it. And another question is, can a science student who has done BSc non-medical can do CMA USA?
Oh, 100%. I mean, why will he not be able to do? I think he is the better person to do this course because you don't know anything. So when
Okay,
you don't know anything, the urge of knowing is more, right?
got it.
Simply, you know everything, you will not even study. But if someone don't know anything, I mean, the curiosity to learn is more because he really don't know a single thing about the course. So I think they are your, if you have seen that in chartered accountancy, to be honest, lot of the BPC people have passed the chartered accountancy course. Why? Because they have no foundation in accounting, so they go with the scratch. So that is the reason I would say a BSc or a BTech are the favorite people to pass this exam.
Got it. And another thing is, I think this is the most controversial question people, have in their mind, but no, they're not having the right answer. Is like CA articleship, experience, for example, 2 years experience or 3 years experience. Is that considered for the, work experience within the CMA USA?
Yes, yes, yes. It is considered, but they'll give only half a year experience. That's all.
Okay, got it, got it.
Not
I
give full
Okay, well, that means that is considerable in terms of as a full time.
only for half year, 6 months. Only for 6 months. That
Only for 6 months. Okay, I got it. And another question is, I think answer is no, but still I wanted to ask. Like for example, their CMA USA can be done, along with the graduation. For example, there's a student who completed just in first year and the end of the second year. Will he or she get a job in terms of even if they have not cleared the graduation? I think answer is still
I
no.
mean, they can get the internship, not the job, because
Okay,
internships are very much there for them. In fact, USCMA doesn't have any internship requirement, nor CPA has, but still we are placing them like an interns so that they can get the exposure. So that they can get it. Full-time job is not possible because graduation is mandatory in all the big MNCs.
got it. And another question is, which part should target first if somebody is studying towards CMA certification? Because a lot of students confuse whether target part one first or part two first. That's the another question.
I would say Himanshu part two is easier than part one. So as a working professional, I would straight away go with part two because that is easier to prepare. Right. If you see the topics also are not so heavy, part two is not so voluminous also like part one. Right. So I would suggest any day part two first and then followed with part one because part one has too much of content. Like you have accounting, you have costing, you have internal audit, you have technology and analytics, you have performance management, standard costing formulas. So there is too much of content in part one. So my recommendation would be to go with part two first, get the confidence, get that passing going, and then go with part one, and then you might pass part one also very easy.
Got it. And I think this is going to be last question, I think, and also interesting one. What additional skills, people need to acquire in terms of getting either Microsoft Excel, Power BI, SQL, and etc. Because people are seeing that because of hype of the technology, they are not able to, they're finding themselves uncomfortable with, in terms of getting a job. So that's the main another
So,
question.
Himanshu, I would say Excel is mandatory. So we have a data analytics course in Samandar, and the problem was the fees was a little higher. So many of them requested me, but unfortunately I couldn't reduce the fees. It's almost like 50,000. Then we reduced it to 40,000 now, 45,000 if I'm not wrong, because that course had a chartered audit head, right? I mean the data analytics head. So he have developed the content for Power BI, SQL, Tableau, right? Excel. So he have prepared the dashboards. He's doing a practical boot camp.
Oh, got it.